Hi guys, my name is Ashley File and I'm currently a student here at Kean University. I'm actually here today to talk to you guys about some of the benefits of investing now and some of the different ways you can actually invest your money. Now before I get started, I would just like to thank you guys for being here and I appreciate you listening and I really hope you just get one or two things out of this speech. Now, growing up as a little girl, I can remember my mom always talking about how my grandparents had done very well with their business. It was an embroidery company, how they made the right investments, and they got to do all these great things like traveling, they got to go places, they got to have summer homes, and it was just something that really resonated with me and something that I knew that I wanted for my future. Now, unfortunately, by the time I was 5 years old, my grandmother had passed away. However, when she did pass away, she actually left all of her grandchildren a lump sum of money, and there was four of us. And this lump sum of money that I had actually been turned over to my uncle, in which he had put it into a money market for me. Now, at that time, I had no idea what that was. All I remember is being 18 and being told, hey, I'm taking your money out of a money market, and here you go. Now, ever since that moment, I have currently been very invested in investing. Growing up with a family of money-savvy people and investors, it really motivated me to learn more about it. With that being said, in the last 4 years, I've actually currently been investing in the US stock market. In the last 6 months, I've been investing in the foreign exchange market, which is just buying and selling currencies against one another. And I've also been investing in, or looking to invest in real estate. I actually looked at houses for about 2 years, seeing what the numbers were, how it would work, how much it could potentially sell for, and if I can make some sort of profit. This right here is what I like to call my trading journal. So I write stuff, just quotes, motivations, daily goals, and I also write all my trades down. So I can really track what trades I did well in, where I went wrong, how I'm doing, stuff like that, and just keep track of everything. Now, right now you might be asking yourself, why should I invest? Or I don't really care about investing that much, not for me. But the benefits of beginning to invest now, especially as college grads or as young 20-year-olds or even young 30-year-olds, I mean, the benefits are almost endless. Right now, you have time. I'm sure you have long-term goals, and there's so many different avenues of investing that you could take. There's so many different ways to invest. I would like to say a quote according to the man, the myth, and the investing legend, Warren Buffett. If you do not find a way to make money in your sleep, you will work until the day that you die. Now, I don't necessarily believe that you'll work until the day you die. However, essentially, almost yes. That brings me to my next point, or my first point. The most important thing, and it's one of the top rated ones on Investopedia, is having time. Right now, you have more time than you will ever have. You have the time to do the research for investing. You have the time to learn. You have the time to make mistakes investing. You can't make mistakes investing when you're 60 years old, nor would you take the risks. Whether you might potentially get a higher reward, you're still not going to take the risk. Now you can take the risk for a greater reward because you have the time to recover. You have the time to grow and compound your money. One of my favorite mentors and traders is Manny Quinones. He trades within the foreign exchange market, and he's actually one of the teachers there. He always talks and teaches us about a 5% compound interest plan. Now, a side note, all compound interest is building interest on your interest. So you're making money on your interest. Within this 5% compound interest plan, say you start with $100. If you make 5% of that, that's $5. So the next day you're at $105. Then the next day, say you make another 5%. Then you're at $110. Then the next day you make another 5%. Then you're at $115.15-ish, and so on and so forth. I don't have a calculator in front of me, sorry. But within this compound plan, it brings me to long-term goals. I want you guys to take a second, just think about where you want to be. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? Where do you want to be in 20 years, 30, by 40? I really, really, really hope we're all retired. However, according to the CRBF, which is the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, the Social Security could potentially run out by 2035. So what is our retirement going to look like? Which is another reason potentially to start investing. We don't know what it's going to look like because it's not looking great right now. But where do you want to be? Are you buying a house in 5 years? Are you going traveling in 5 years? All of these things are very costly to do. And if you want to make some long-term goals for yourself, it might be very beneficial to start investing in those goals. Do you want to send your kids to school? That's a huge one. By the time our kids get to school, school could be $100,000 a semester at that point. Who knows where it's heading because it keeps going up every single year. Now, that leads me to my third point of the different ways to invest. Now that you've heard about time, you've heard about long-term investments, now you have to learn about the ways to accomplish those two things. The different ways to invest. There's stocks. Stocks are just buying a piece of a company. There are mutual funds, which is purchasing a group of different stocks, and say if one stock does poorly and the rest do well, guess what? Your mutual fund is still going to do well. So that would be a low risk, higher reward. You have bonds in which you loan your money to the bank and then collect interest on it. And when your bond matures, if you take it out when it matures, you should make almost double your money within 20 or 30 years, depending on the bond. There's the foreign exchange market, which again, it's buying and selling currencies against one another. So say I go to Thailand. Thailand, their dollar or currency is called the baht. Say you go to Thailand. I put in $50 US. I know this isn't 50. $50 US, and they give me $20 baht. Now I go to exchange the baht that I have when I'm going back home, and I give them the rest of my baht, and they only give me a little bit less. It's because the currency rate changes all of the time. So when you're trading in the Forex market, you're buying and selling currencies against each other, depending on which way they go. Now you can also trade in things like indices and futures, which are a lot more riskier, but if you learn them, there can be a lot more ROI on your investment. Another great thing, like I mentioned earlier, is real estate as well. Real estate, there's something called the BRRRR method, which is buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. And it's the method by Hines from the Real Estate Investing podcast. Within this method, you do simply, as it says, you buy cheap, you rehab it cheap, you rent it, you refinance, and then you keep doing the process over and over until you have a continuous amount of passive income coming in. And it's just money that you're not trading your time for anymore. Guys, the benefits of investing are simple. You have the time to make mistakes. You have the time now to invest and build compounding interest. You have the time to set up for long-term goals and set yourself up for success in your future, as well as having many different avenues of investing to choose from. I'd like to read a quote for you guys. If you think you can invest. To invest successfully over a lifetime does not require a stratospheric IQ, unusual business insights, or inside information. What's needed is a sound intellectual framework for making decisions and the ability to keep emotions from corroding that framework. Now, what I didn't tell you guys earlier is when I received that check from the money market when I was 18 years old, I didn't tell you what I saw. What I have come to realize now, I saw a lot of money, kind of, but I didn't realize what the percentage was. When I did the percentage a few years ago, I had realized that in just 13 years, I had made 80% ROI, which means I had made 80% of my investment or my return on investment. So let's just say I had $10,000. In that 13 years, my $10,000 just grew to $18,000. In any bank you go to, you will only get maybe a 1% return. Guys, that is the importance of investing, and I hope you learned something today. Thank you, guys.